game. Interesting challenge for Marquette tonight.
Chicago State coming off an impressive win against Western Illinois, which snapped an 8-game losing streak. The first name and picture there on the screen, sophomore Clemmy Owens, just his third game with Chicago State after becoming eligible following a transfer. And for the Marquette Golden Eagles, 3 freshmen in the starting lineup, highlighted by Henry Ellenson, not just one of the best in the Big East, but one of the best in the country. Should be a fantastic evening.
Well, look for Marquette to continue to share the basketball, Vince. They've been great in their last 2 games, averaging 20 assists per contest. If they can continue to pass the ball that way, it'll be very difficult for the Cougars to maintain or keep up with this much bigger Marquette ball club.
7th meeting between Marquette and Chicago State. Marquette has won them all so far. Chicago State hopes to change that here tonight, and what a stunning upset that would be.
You expected Chicago State to come out in the zone. They're going to change defenses in a 2-3 right now.
Early turnover for Marquette. It's been one of the problems for the Golden Eagles this season as the jumper is knocked down by Fred Sims, the freshman from Chicago.
Now Chicago State drops again back into their 2-3. They're going to be active. They've got to change up the defense. They cannot allow Marquette to get comfortable on this end of the floor.
Inside pass, Luke Fisher is fouled, and he'll shoot a couple. It's going to be one of the issues for Chicago State defending the paint.
Yeah, Ellison did a great job. He's a very underrated passer. Saw Luke Fisher matched up against Clemmy Owens down there. That's a 10-inch advantage for Marquette. Good job getting the ball inside.
Look at Tracy Dildy, the head coach of Chicago State in his 6th season. The helm of the Cougars out of the Western Athletic Conference. And for Marquette, it's Steve Wojciechowski in his 2nd season at the helm of this Marquette program. Longtime Duke assistant, played at Duke as well.
He's going to have his guys ready to play tonight. He understands that phenomenon of the game before the Christmas break. Sometimes there can be a lull. This young team has had a lot of success, 7 in a row, as you mentioned, Vince in the open. So got to guard against complacency tonight.
3 from the corner, net. Montana Bird, 3-pointer.
Well, Chicago State's going to shoot a lot of threes. They were 10 of 20 in their last game in their win versus Western Illinois. So they can sting you from long range if you're not careful.
Very important for Chicago State to get off to a good start tonight, and they've done so.
Oh, no doubt about it.
Fisher going to be called for traveling. Hey, when you're talking about Chicago State and the Cougars, some important topics.
Well, they can't get up and down with Marquette, so they're going to control the tempo. They're going to take a lot of time in each possession. They're going to change defenses because they cannot allow Marquette to get comfortable on the offensive end. And they're going to have to find a way. They're going to have to find a guy to step up, have a career night, and hope that Marquette's guys have an off night.
Shot clock at 10, and as Steven mentioned, this is when Chicago State wants to get into its offense. Shorten the game a little bit. Bodies all over the place. Carter comes away with it for Marquette, and they'll run.
Glad nobody got hurt in that exchange. 2 bodies on the deck.
3 from Carter, off the mark. Chased down, Ellenson misses. Fisher, one of the best offensive rebounders in the country, gets the putback.
Good job by Fisher, keeping the ball high, knowing that Chicago State is smaller. They're going to strip down at the ball.
And Chicago State answers. Sims, his 2nd basket.
Coach Wojciechowski understood this. You know, you come in a game and you got to be ready no matter the opponent.
Foul as Sandy Cohen's going to the basket, and he'll shoot a couple. And for Marquette, top of the mind for Steve Wojciechowski.
Just what we were talking about, being focused. The young team coming in a 7-game win streak. They've got to be focused. They've got to work inside out. They have a clear advantage in the paint, and they've got to crash the glass. In spite of their win, Chicago State was a -10 on the glass versus Western Illinois. And the Leathernecks don't have a front line like Marquette.
Karan Davis into the game for Devon Friend. That's Hanif Cheatham at the line. Hit the first, and here's the second.
Well, Hanif Cheatham is a good-looking freshman. He is going to give headaches to Big East opponents for years to come. Very confident, good size at the guard position.
Well, with Cheatham, Tracy Carter, and Henry Ellenson, I mean, 3 of the better freshmen, I mean, you're going to find on one team in America.
That's right. And they're doing an excellent job for this young team to start the season.
Hustle for it. Who's going to come away with it? Timeout call. So Chicago State's Karan Davis grabbed the ball and called timeout. Hey, Tracy Dildy's got to be happy. His Cougars on top at Marquette. Chicago State off to a great start, leading Marquette 8-4. Marquette winners of 7 in a row. Chicago State just snapped an 8-game losing streak. But, Stephen, look at this non-conference schedule. Wow.
Yeah, they have to do this because they've got to fund their program through these guaranteed games. But, you know, I know Marquette fans, Vince, may be a little surprised, but Chicago State has played this kind of competition.
Count it. Karan Davis, the basket and foul.
A great give and go here. Good job by Davis on the concentration. Takes the hit. Still able to get it up on the glass. Good job by Karan.
Really one of the only players that Chicago State has to offer that has that legitimate size inside to battle with Fisher or Ellenson.
Yeah, and again, they're going to have to really be careful about how they use their size and whatnot to stay out of foul trouble.
Chicago State likes to press. They mix up the defense. Marquette tries to score off of it, and Ellenson will go to the line and shoot 2.
Ellenson being smart, recognizing that Karan Davis is still on the move. So Ellenson draws the contact and gets to the rim. That's a heads-up play. Watch Ellenson. He eyes Karan Davis. He knows he's still moving. Gets his body into him and gets to the line.
73% free throw shooter. First point for Ellenson. As you see, one of the top recruits in the country. You look at the mock drafts already that are being held around the internet world, and Henry Ellenson's name is right there around the top 10.
Oh, no, there's no question about it. His size, and they allow him to take the defensive rebound and lead the fast break. That's a very unusual skill set for a man his size.
Force the turnover. Cheatham leans in. It's rejected. Dwayne Wilson has come in. He kicks it outside. Perimeter shot is off. And there's a foul underneath.
Ellenson stepped on someone's foot. Looks like he's got a rolled ankle. I hope it's not serious. Take a look. Cheatham goes to the hole. Great defense that time from Fred Sims. Coming out of nowhere. Marquette fortunate enough to get the ball back.
Juwan Johnson with the ball now for Marquette. He has come in, as has Dwayne Wilson. Pass knocked away, but recovered. And now Cheatham leans in, scoops it, and counts. Hanif Cheatham.
You saw Juwan Johnson take a three-point shot and miss. But then Marquette got back to what they're trying to do is get in the paint. They did an excellent job of that in their last game versus Wisconsin. Had a 36-16 points in the paint advantage. They want to do something similar tonight.
Foul was called on Montana Bird. That's his first. As Cheatham converts the three-point play. 4 early points for the freshman, Hanif Cheatham. A couple of substitutions have come in for Chicago State as well. Anthony Eves on the floor. Elliot Cole is in. Tried to put it inside for Karan Davis, but it's stolen. And Juwan Johnson leads the break. Dwayne Wilson misses the 3.
I still like that shot. Good ball movement. Dwayne Wilson. Nice look. Just didn't get to fall, but I still like that opportunity.
Anthony Eves with the ball for Chicago State. His dad, Jerry Eves, played on that NCAA title team at Louisville back in 1980. Shoots the 3, missed it. Ellenson leads the team in rebounding at 9 per game, adds to that total early on. Puts it up and in.
Great job by Luke Fisher. One of the reasons I really like his game is that he understands that his best position is in the post area. You see a lot of bigs. They want to float on the outside a lot. Luke Fisher knows where his bread is buttered. That's in the paint.
Reach-in foul against Marquette. But it is tight early. And the big fella, Luke Fisher, has 5 early points for Marquette.
He has, and I think a lot of people are a little surprised by that with Henry Ellenson's presence here being an All-American and whatnot. But Luke Fisher has done a great job of being a very good complement with Ellenson and establishing his presence in the post area.
Marquette has its hands full early. Chicago State with a 1-point advantage. Long three-pointer off the mark. Rebound pulled down by Juwan Johnson.
Pretty good defense that time by Marquette, keeping the ball out of the paint area.
Cohen drove the basket. Kick out. Wilson looked at it. Chicago State has changed up the defense again. 1-3-1 this time out of the timeout. Tracy Dildy really likes to mix up the defense. Yeah, you'll see about everything from this Chicago State team.
Well, they have to because they're smaller and they're going to have to run a few more guys off the bench maybe than they normally do.
Oh, great defense from Juwan Johnson with the steal. Lost it out of bounds. It'll go to Chicago State. He thought he was fouled. No call.
Wow, Juwan Johnson, great anticipation to come up with the steal. Looks like he was trying to cut off Elliott Cole, and instead of paying attention to the rim, he just kind of lost the ball there. Good hustle by Elliott Cole. But if you're Juwan Johnson, you got to find a way to finish that. Juwan at 6'7", was going up over the 5'11" Elliott Cole. Got to finish that.
There's Kieran Woods with the ball. Uses the screen. Working the block again. It's Davis, and it's out of bounds. He lost control of it. So each team giving it away a little bit early, and that's kind of been the bugaboo for both these clubs this season.
No doubt about it. And see, Davis could have been called for an offensive foul there. He got that chicken wing up a little bit too high, but no call there.
Fisher out. Catching a breather.
This is interesting. Adekoya on the top of the 1-3-1 at 6'6" causes a little bit of problem when you want to reverse that ball.
Now with Fisher out, Ellenson moves directly into the post instead of a perimeter player as Sandy Cohen knocks down the three.
We've seen Sandy Cohen get hot before. 24 points, 6 of 10 from the three against San Jose State.
Another turnover. Marquette on a 9-0 run, making 11 straight.
Boy, Marquette has turned up the pressure. They're in the passing lanes. Now really trying to deny the first pass to get the Cougars' offense started has been very difficult based on the pressure.
When Marquette gets it going, they can roll off points in a hurry as Jordan Madrid Andrews, the junior from Denver, Colorado, hits the jumper. Stops the 11-0 run. Ellenson so tough to stop in there. Can't get the roll, and Chicago State comes away. Carter, the steal, and the lay-in.
Well, I was looking at Carter. He was, again, looking for the contact. He's still able to get it down, but good play by Carter. Just clean rip, top of the key.
Rather see him just go strong?
Yeah, just because when you try to take contact and you anticipate contact and there's none there, sometimes you blow a layup. That time he did a good job of finishing.
Long three from Kieran Woods. Nothing but net.
The Chicago State team is much more confident than the one that I saw against DePaul. They played DePaul tough, but, man, they are really no hesitation from three tonight.
Knocked out of bounds. Marquette will have it when we come back from the break. Tracy Carter and the Golden Eagles turning up.
They're not unless we make them go away.
Steve Wojciechowski's club having their hands full with Chicago State early on. It's a one-point game. Talking about finishing, Henry Ellenson 0 for 4 inside tonight.
Yeah, he has had a couple opportunities that he wasn't able to complete. But, you know, Marquette's got 5 steals, so they're being aggressive on the defensive end. I think that coach doesn't like the fact that they're getting open looks on the three-point line.
Ellenson drew the foul off the rebound.
Jawan Johnson by himself has 3 steals. He's been playing the passing lane. We saw Tracy Carter come up with a steal right, you know, on the top, at the top of the key. So on ball, they've been pretty solid. See if they can close out and contest some of these open threes that Chicago State's enjoyed.
Devin Friend had to go to the bench for Chicago State after picking up that foul, his second. Chicago State in a little bit of foul trouble. There's that inside pass, and Ellenson finishes this one.
Yeah, Jeff, I'm telling you, Fisher and Ellenson, they do as good a high-low job of anybody in the Big East.
First field goal for Ellenson. He's got 3 points. Eves off the pass, and it's pulled away by Ellenson again. Chicago State may want to go deep into the shot clock, but Marquette eager to run.
Well, they want to push it and get early opportunities when they can.
Cheatham on the baseline finds Carter, who dishes to Cohen for another 3.
Tell you what, Tracy Carter could have shot that 3, but deferred to Sandy Cohen, knowing that he's a better three-point shooter. That's why Tracy Carter's starting right now at the point guard position. Plays like that.
And during this 7-game win streak, Marquette's averaged 20 assists per game. I mean, they're unselfish. They'll give it up.
They will.
Whistle and a foul out front. Luke Fisher picks up the personal. It's his first.
Well, the makeup of this Marquette team with Fisher in the post and then Ellenson at the 4 position, you don't really need a lot of guys to break people down off the bounce. So if they're able to pass the ball, move the defense, and play high-low action like we saw the last possession, Marquette's very difficult to defend.
Sims back in for Chicago State. Eves to the bench. Under 10 minutes. About halfway here in the first half. Good pick and roll, and Davis was fouled. Well executed by Chicago State.
It's the second pick and roll. They've found Karan Davis streaking down the middle of the lane, and had there not been a reach in, he would have had a dunk.
First foul on Carter. Sims, little fadeaway, missed it. That's one thing that Ellenson can bring. He grabs the rebound, behind the back dribble, to the basket. But again, Marquette can't finish.
Yeah, he got all the way to the rim, and, you know, those are typically going to fall. So I'm sure Coach, he's all right with that.
Woods bumped and fouled, but, you know, that's one of the things Ellenson brings that not many 6'11" players in the country can bring. He can pull the rebound at one end, dribble at the length of the floor, finish to the basket, or shoot a 3.
That's what makes him unique. And, you know, he went behind his back, went between his legs, get away from the defense. So he's got a very unusual skill set.
And that's going the other way now. Jordan Madrid Andrews, first foul.
Marquette has a chance to really open this up here if they can get it in the middle, get another high percentage shot.
Cohen again, his third three-pointer. Had 6 threes against San Jose State a couple of weeks ago, and he's on pace with 3 early ones here tonight.
Yeah, he's the equalizer on the perimeter, especially in the last few games.
Whistle and a foul again against Chicago State on the illegal screen. Marquette's won 7 in a row, and, well, they've beaten some good ones in the process.
Oh, LSU was a tremendous win, and that kind of got them going on the streak. Then you see the overtime win. Maybe the biggest one, though, was their last one at Wisconsin. In-state rival. They were up 14 in the second half, and Wisconsin comes back to tie. And Marquette made some plays down the stretch that maybe they wouldn't have made early in the year.
Luke Fisher, the basket and foul. It's a 10-0 run for Marquette.
Well, it's target practice. If Fred Sims is not going to pressure the basketball on the perimeter, he's leaving his backcourt mates, his front court mates, you know, to leave him out there to drive. Fisher's got an unabated catch and move to the rim. That's not going to bode well for Chicago State moving forward.
Jordan Madrid Andrews with his second foul as Luke Fisher converts that three-point play. Second 11-0 run of the game for Marquette. Marquette the heavy favorite tonight, but Chicago State came out of the gate with some hot shooting and has kept it close. And a whistle and a foul. They're going to wave off the basket, the foul on the floor.
That's got to count. That has got to count. When he called the foul, Adekoya picked up the ball, and he's in the motion of shooting. The foul is called right there. He's still in the motion. That should be an and one. Tough break for Chicago State.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. That foul on Cohen. A little bit of a break for Marquette. Long three from Woods. Kieran Woods stops the 11-0 run. 6 points for Woods.
Boy, Kieran Woods bringing rain. He shot that one, almost hit the rafters and came down and went through.
Carter, Cohen, Wilson, Fisher, and Jawan Johnson on the floor for Marquette. 8 minutes to play, first half. Turnover, tried to get Fisher. To the basket. Kieran Woods with 8 straight points for Chicago State.
Kieran Woods going strong to the hole. Some contact there, but he didn't let it bother him at all.
Stolen away, but stepped on the sideline. Good hustle from the Cougars. Chicago State keeping it interesting. Kieran Woods with 8 first-half points. Marquette by 7.
Ellenson not used to challenging jumpers away from the bucket. So a slight hesitation, and Montana Bird makes them pay. Chicago State, 4-3 so far. That's what's keeping them in the game.
Chicago State's been a little loose with the ball, though. 8 turnovers have led to 16 points for Marquette as Henry Ellenson throws it down.
Like a miscommunication defensively. Chicago State appeared to be in a zone. But maybe 4 other guys were in the man. I don't know. They can't leave a guy wide open like that.
Woods has scored 10 straight for Chicago State. Stolen away. Bird with the steal. The dish to Adekoya.
Well, the quickness of Chicago State, they're baiting Marquette up the sideline, trying to keep them on the sideline. And when Marquette advances the ball via the pass, Chicago State there to anticipate.
Tracy Dilby's club has done a nice job defensively. Continues to mix up the defense, keeping Marquette just a little bit off balance offensively. Ellenson beats his man, draws the foul, and he'll shoot 2. Foul on Jordan Madrid Andrews, and that is 3 on him.
Well, if you're Jordan Madrid Andrews and you're looking at Henry Ellenson, you got to look at the scouting report. He's 27% from the three-point line. You don't need to, lose your balance. Just put a hand in his face. You're not going to block a shot anyway. He's 6'11". So you got to be smarter for Chicago State in that situation. Remember the scouting report and play the percentages.
Dwayne Wilson leaves, and Tracy Carter back for Marquette as Ellenson hits 1 of 2. He has 6, and the Marquette lead is 6.
Hey, Chicago State has weathered a little bit of a storm here. Looked like it was going to get out of hand. They've done enough to keep themselves in the ball game here.
Shot clock at 10. Long 3 from Adekoya.
Now listen, Adekoya can shoot the ball as well as anybody in America. I saw it against DePaul. This young man's got great form on that jumper, and that 6'6" frame allows him to get it off against almost anybody.
Chicago State has made the last 5 baskets, and that's finally stopped by Jawan Johnson, who knocks down the 3.
Like seeing Jawan Johnson step up like that, one of the few upperclassmen, junior. He's brought the energy since he's come to the game. He's got 3 steals as well.
Adekloya looked at that one from NBA range. A little bit too much contact on the defensive side, and Cohen is going to be called for the foul.
That's doing very well, pressuring them into timely turnovers. So Marquette, take care of the basketball and get it back inside. No need to rush what you're doing once you get it across half court. Utilize your size on the interior.
Andrews misses the front end of the 1-on-1. Fisher double teamed immediately when he catches it in the post. Foul called on Chicago State's Fred Sims. That's his first. That's that hand check. The officials really keeping a closer eye on that this year.
Freedom of movement, no hand checking or arm bar as they're coming to the any kind of penetration. So pretty easy call for the officials that time. And Marquette, they understand that. They want to get the ball inside via the pass or the bounce, and they're doing a good job once they get it across half court.
Wilson hits the first. He'll get another one as a couple of subs come for Chicago State, including Elliott Cole, the 5'11 junior from Chicago. Madrid Andrews leaves the game. He's got 3 fouls, so probably done for the first half. Lead back to 8 for Marquette.
Elliott Cole, number 3 at Chicago State. He can fill it up as well. We've seen Woods kind of take over lately. Elliott Cole, he can get his own as well.
3 from Montana Bird. Missed it. Well, way down in when it did everything but go in. Ellenson bumped and a whistle. Foul on Kieran Woods. Chicago State starting to get a little bit of foul trouble here. Got to be careful with that.
Yeah, the thing is, their fouls are really away from the basket, too. And Tracy Dillard can ill afford that with this team. They played a very good first half, but got to be smart when you're trying to come in and win on the road. Good job by Ellenson converting at the line.
Marquette in the bonus, so they're shooting 2. Ellenson averages 16. He's halfway there. Wally Ellenson, Henry's brother, in the game. So Henry goes to the bench. Another Ellenson comes in. Woods trying to beat off the dribble, and it's going to be a turnover. Johnson on the dish. Oh, Wilson couldn't finish it. Johnson fouled, and he'll shoot 2.
I know what Marquette's going to be doing when they come back from Christmas break. They're going to work on finishing at the rim. We've seen a couple of guys now get all the way to the rim. See Dwayne Wilson kind of double clutches a layup attempt and can't get it to fall. Hey, Jawan Johnson, he may have been the most consistent performer for Marquette tonight. Gave great energy coming in defensively, got those 3 steals. He's hit a 3. He's gotten on the glass. He's had a solid performance here in the first half.
Misses the second free throw, and Luke Fisher is called for the over the back. That's the second on Fisher, so he's going to come out. Henry Ellenson's breather was short-lived. He'll come back in to replace Fisher. You know, you talked about finishing around the basket, and one of the things that Wojo talked about during one of his timeouts, imploring his team to finish. And we've seen a lot of them that some of them have been around the rim and outdone everything but go in, but not always a strong move to the bucket.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times you're playing a smaller team like Chicago State, and there's hands coming at the ball, stripping down, so you got to be strong.
10-second violation, didn't get over the timeline in time.
So that's a sign of a young team. So you've got Tracy Carter, freshman in the backcourt. That's Dwayne Wilson and Jawan Johnson's got to yell something out to their freshman backcourt mate so that he understands.
6th turnover for Marquette here in the first half. Good hands by Johnson. Knocked that away again. Very active, isn't he?
Yes, he's been active since he came off the bench. And upperclassmen showing the way for the younger guy.
Dwayne Wilson picked the pocket of Elliott Cole. No problem finishing this one.
Boy, good hands by Dwayne Wilson. But tell you what, Tracy Dilley's got to be upset with his guards.
Another good run for Marquette after a pair of 11-0 runs. The Golden Eagles have now scored 10 straight. Ellenson missed it, and over the back call against Wally Ellenson. Under 4 minutes to play in the first half. Marquette on top of Chicago. DePaul. Coverage begins tomorrow, 7 Eastern, right here on FS1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
That's a good George Washington team. I'll be there tomorrow going up against DePaul, and was in the NIT last year, was in the NCAA tournament the year before that. Veteran ball club. DePaul will have their hands full tomorrow night with that group.
Montana Bird gets one more. We've seen some good college basketball teams, some big upsets. Georgetown lost to UNC Asheville. I mean, some of the little guys have really risen up during this pre-conference part of the schedule.
What you see a lot of times is these high major college teams in these bigger conferences, they've got much younger players. And so the Radfords and the Monmouths and all those teams, they have upperclassmen that are going at it.
Great catch and finish from Wally Ellenson.
Nice job, Dwayne Wilson. Almost a one-man press break there. Dancing the rock and a nice pass over the top of the defense.
Looked at the three. Adekoya will shoot it from NBA range, but needed to step to the college line. Hey, here's some of the action from Saturday in the Big East. Seton Hall will be next as far as the first Big East opponent for Marquette.
That's a great win. Even though Wichita State's numbers are a little down, it's still a great win for the conference.
After the rejected shot. Oh, how about the high jumper? Wally Ellenson.
That got the crowd going right there. Nice timing by Ellenson. A terrific high jumper.
4-time All-American. Was the indoor and the outdoor high jump champ in the Big East in 2015. And now another turnover and one. Jawan Johnson with the basket, and he'll go to the line. Watch it.
Yeah, right here off the glass. Wally Ellenson. Great tip, and then mom and brother. Love seeing Wally because Henry gets a lot of the love typically, but Wally's showing you what he can do as well.
Now, mom's driving them all home to Rice Lake after the game tonight for that Christmas holiday. Quite a drive.
That's
I got
a
about
long
4 or 5 hours. I'm guessing Wally is going to give Henry an earful about how great that dunk was on the ride home.
And he may be giving Henry an earful about how he's been not finishing at the rim, too, because, you know, brothers, they like to dig. I know my brother likes to dig in on me.
18-point lead for Marquette on this 17-2 run. Ellenson again missed it this time.
Marquette's done a really fantastic job of taking advantage of all these turnovers. I believe 21 points off turnovers for Marquette. So doing a good job of taking advantage of Chicago State's miscues.
Dwayne Wilson answers for Marquette after Clemmy Owens had scored for Chicago State.
Well, for Tracy Dilley, you just want to get good looks the remainder of the first half and take care of the basketball.
Foul before the shot. Well, we've seen Marquette go on several runs tonight, and they can put it on you in a hurry because they get after you defensively, and that creates offense.
Yeah, when you have guys like Jawan Johnson on the perimeter, Wayne Wilson, Tracy Carter, really quick hands, They're able to turn turnovers into buckets quickly. And it looked like they were a little sluggish coming out, but boy, they turned up the heat quickly.
Anthony Eves back in for Chicago State. That was Carter's second foul, by the way. Leading to the Dixon free throws.
Rebound.
We have to also give Marquette a little credit. They had 9 days off since their last game. That's a long time. Sometimes rust can set in, but boy, they look sharp right now.
Ellenson, 16-footer. Henry Ellenson starting to find a little rhythm offensively.
Nice job of flashing to the free throw line. And when he gets to that position, if they're not smothering him, he could either pass or score or put it on the deck.
Karan Davis can't get it down for Chicago State. Marquette quickly to the offensive end. Going the other way, illegal screen called on Carter, and that is his third.
Dribble exchange, dribble handoff, and little contact there. Tracy Carter didn't complain whatsoever. So you know it was a good call.
So Carter goes off with his third foul, and Honey Cheatham comes in for Marquette. Owens picked up a couple of fouls early. Wow, how did that one come out?
Well, Chicago State's had a couple that have done that as well. So pretty aggressive drive to the rim by Owens. Just didn't fall for him.
Well, he's their leading scorer, but after he picked up those 2 fouls early, had to go out of the game. Hasn't been able to become quite as effective as they hoped here early on.
Well, Chicago State is so small that Owens, at the beginning of the game, was playing on the baseline defensively, and that forced him into some foul trouble.
Dwayne Wilson, three-pointer. 12 for Wilson. And the first half comes to an end. Chicago State put up a fight early, but Marquette with a 23-point advantage. We'll send you to Rob.
They've got a 24-9 points in the paint, 24-8, excuse me, points in the paint advantage for Marquette. They're doing exactly what they should, utilize their big front line.
Marquette trying to stretch a 7-game winning streak. Chicago State just snapped an 8-game losing streak with a win on Saturday. They'd love nothing better than to pull off a major upset, but a lot of work to do if they're to knock off Marquette here tonight. Golden Eagles by 23, just underway second half. Well, fade away from the freshman Fred Sims to get the Cougars going.
Yeah, Fred Sims did that in the first half. Got his team on the board, was aggressive looking for a shot. He needs to continue to do that.
Cheatham, Dwayne Wilson, Henry Ellenson, Luke Fisher, and Sandy Cohen III on the floor for Marquette. Cohen shoots the three.
You didn't see Chicago State get a lot of fast break opportunities. Marquette did a good job of getting back defensively in the first half.
Long three from Sims again. Back-to-back baskets for Fred Sims.
Well, North Lawndale kid from Chicago, so Chicago natives understand he's got some toughness and comes from a really good program.
Fisher kept it alive, but was the last to touch it out of bounds. As we look at the numbers from the first half, both teams shot better than 50%.
They did, and the difference was the rebounding for Marquette and the turnovers. And what we don't see there, 13 turnovers for Chicago State. Marquette did a great job of turning those into easy buckets.
Yeah, turn those 13 turnovers into 22 points.
So there'll be a high screen and roll here. Try to turn the corner.
Clemmy Owens, leading scorer on the team. Foul trouble in the first half, but nets that three-pointer.
Well, that's hard to defend. Dwayne Wilson was right there in great defensive position. That's just a better shot.
It's an 8-0 run for Chicago State to open the second half. Turnover, Marquette. And Steve Wojciechowski wants a timeout, and the coach is not happy. Chicago State, the first 8 points of the second half, trying to tighten it up. And battles DePaul. Coverage begins tomorrow, 7 Eastern, right here on FS1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
Well, let's see if Marquette responds on the defensive end. Chicago State coming out of the halftime break, playing very well.
8-0 run to open the second half for Chicago State. Inside and traveling. And remember, Chicago State's playing without one of its best players. Trayvon Palmer, 6'5" junior from Milwaukee, averages 9.5 a game, leading rebounder on the team. But he's been suspended for violation of team rules. And well, they could have really used him tonight.
There's no question about it. And you mentioned, Vince, a Milwaukee native, so it's got to sting doubly as much, you know, trying to come home and not being able to play.
Dwayne Wilson hits the three-pointer. He's had the shooting eye tonight.
Really has. Gotten his feet set quickly as the ball approaches. And when he does that, pretty good from long range.
15 for the redshirt sophomore from right here in Milwaukee. Chicago State wants to limit the possession, so they'll run the shot clock down to 10 just about every time they have it, as they did on this occasion, but knocked away, and a second chance opportunity. Devon Friend with the rebound basket.
Well, Devon Friend also in there. Look at the interior post players. They're battling as much as they can, giving up so much size.
Ellenson fouled. Joshua Batson will pick up the personal.
You've seen that twice tonight. Ellenson recognizing he's got smaller guys on him. He goes right into a shot, draws a contact. You know, Henry, I'm sorry, Vince. Henry Ellenson he plays so smoothly and he's so efficient. You look up and he's got a double-double and you don't even know it.
Nets them both. 14 for Ellenson. And remember, he got off that slow start, missed his first 4, had several right there that just didn't go down for him. I mean, it could have been, if those would have gone in, a really big night for him already.
No doubt about it.
10th rebound for Ellenson, and then he promptly throws it the length of the floor out of bounds. So double-double, but wished he wouldn't have had the turnover. You know that.
Yeah, he's smiling, but his coach isn't. So, I mean, that's a freshman right there. Will smile, but he'll make it up. He's talented enough to do that. We know that.
Pull-up jumper with Fred Sims off to a good start here in the second half.
Fred Sims is a scorer, and he's fearless. Doesn't mind taking contact. He can get his shot off in small spaces.
How about Hakeem Cheatham talking about getting off the shot in a small space?
Yeah, it could have been and one there. A lot of contact on that release, and had a concentration to finish.
Again, Clemmy Owens this time for Chicago State. He's got 7.
Clemmy Owens was a big-time scorer at Bethune-Cookman. So he's a guy that's comfortable in that role, being aggressive when he gets the rock.
Ellenson shoots the 3. Got it. Henry Ellenson with 17.
I've noticed when Henry Ellenson gets enough arc on his three-point shot, he's a lot more accurate. That shot tends to flatten out for him sometimes.
Nice move to the basket, but Friend couldn't finish it.
It's tough to finish over the top of Luke Fisher.
More Marquette, 54%. Chicago State, 56%. Fisher kept it alive and scored it. Adds to that shooting percentage.
Man, you don't typically see bigs like that have a soft tap. But Fisher reaches over the defense, and it's a beautiful tap in.
Give and go, and now the dish to Sims. Hits it again. Fred Sims with 15. Marquette by 18, but it hasn't been easy. Chicago State has hit 7 of 10 from the floor to open up the second half, including 3 of 5 from beyond the arc. And Steve Wojciechowski not happy with the way things have gone for Marquette here.
It's a similar start to the start of the game, Vince, that we saw Chicago State coming out red hot. Marquette not dialed in defensively as well as they would like. Let's see if they can make that adjustment here.
And there's a bump and a foul called on Fred Sims. Second foul on Sims. Well, Sims has had a good game here tonight. 15 points, 6 of 9 from the floor for Tracy Dildy. Ellenson with 17 points, trying to take it off the dribble. Rebound pulled away by Jordan Madrid-Andrews.
Madrid-Andrews went for that fake in the first half. That was much better defense that time on Ellenson.
Marquette will occasionally play a zone, but man-to-man right now, and Fred Sims just stuck it in their face with another 3.
And I tell you what, somebody on Marquette's team is going to have to step up and take the challenge of guarding Fred Sims, because every time he catches, he's looking to go.
He's got 3 3-pointers in the second half, and we played less than 7 minutes. Wilson lost it. Chicago State on the break. Clemmy Owens.
Well, this changing defense continues to create opportunities for Chicago State. They go into a full court pressure. Now they drop back into a simple man-to-man. See if Marquette can get on track offensively.
Tracy Carter ends an 8-0 run with that basket.
Nice job, Carter. Utilizing the high screen and roll and wasting no time getting to the rim.
Long 3 off the mark. Rebounded by Eves. He'll shoot it. And Fisher rebounds for Marquette. 6 rebounds for Luke Fisher. Ellenson couldn't pull it in. Turnover Marquette. Wally Ellenson coming back for the Golden Eagles, as is Sandy Cohen III.
Yeah, Tracy Carter's going to come out after that pass. You can't feed the post like that and have those unforced turnovers. They just kill you. And he'll learn. He's only a freshman. He's done a great job, but struggling a little bit tonight with foul trouble. Hadn't really found his rhythm.
Isn't it amazing how just a little bit of rhythm in your game, whether it's on or you're off rhythm, makes a huge difference?
Oh, it does. And see, a lot of times the fans will say, oh, wait a minute, why is Chicago State so close? Well, these guys on scholarship as well. I mean, they may not be as good as Marquette, but they're on scholarship as well.
Cheatham fouled going to the basket. He'll shoot a couple. Third foul called on Clemmy Owens. You know, it's interesting with Marquette, or with Chicago State on that 8-game losing streak they had. They were up 2 against Illinois, had the ball with 20 seconds to go, ended up losing that game by 3, and it really kicked them in the gut, and they didn't respond. It's been a tough setback. The losing then just piled up on them.
Yeah, when we showed their schedule and all the teams consecutively that they had to play, I mean, it's tough going, and if you get that one against Illinois, now you start to get some confidence and you play a little bit better. But they weren't able to respond, but they've been playing well the last 2 games. Coming off a win against Western Illinois, who beat Wisconsin at Wisconsin earlier this year. So Chicago State is capable, but they just haven't taken care of the basketball tonight.
Juwan Johnson called for the foul. First on Johnson. Officials calling it a little tighter this year by design. Shot clock from 35 to 30 this year. That arc underneath the basket is a foot smaller. Do you like the changes and what it's done? Have you noticed a big difference in the game?
I haven't noticed a big difference in the game, and I was a little, I'm not a fan of all these rules changes because I don't think the game is broken. It's not the game that's broken. It's the system at the high school level, the AAU level, that needs improvement in my mind, and no one's actually doing anything about that.
Great point. Going to break. Marquette by 17, but Chicago State not going away.
To do work on the block. And I know defensively, Coach Wojciechowski not real pleased with the start that Chicago State had at the beginning of the second half, but they settled down a lot here in the last couple of possessions, done a pretty good job.
Tip the cap to Chicago State, shooting 55% from the floor, 47% from beyond the arc. 9 3-pointers for the Cougars. Kept them in the ballgame so far. And there's one drive into the bucket from Clemmy Owens.
Well, Owens got a little unorthodox approach to his game, but it's definitely effective.
Averages 15, getting closer. He's got 11. Hanif Cheatham to the basket, draws the contact. So Cheatham will go to the line and shoot 2. Karan Davis called for the foul.
Despite his freshman classification, Cheatham goes as hard to the hole as any perimeter player you're going to see in the Big East this year. He's especially effective along the baseline. Cheatham doing a good job of putting pressure on the defense.
74% free throw shooter. Has 9 points tonight. Right about his average at 9.9. Another player in double figures for Wojo's Golden Eagles.
See if Marquette can get back out on the passing lanes like we saw in the first half when they blew this thing wide open.
Marquette closed the first half with a 25-5 run. Led by 23 at the break. But Chicago State opened the second half with an 8-0 run just to keep it interesting as Juwan Johnson is fouled shooting 3. And Karan Davis is going to be called for another one. 4 on Karan Davis.
Well, Karan Davis telling the official he didn't touch him. Nobody does whenever you get caught, right?
Did you ever really commit a foul?
No. No. And I let the officials know it every time, too.
Defensive player of the year in the Big Ten, never committed a foul.
Never committed a foul. No. And I tell you what, there was a handful of guys in the league back then. I'm talking about Glenn Rice and Willie Burton. I'm talking long-term NBA guys. I mean, the 10 was loaded, so even though I got that designation, I fouled every time. But I understand the big fella. Karan, you working on your negotiation skills. I understand.
Well, you got to plead your case. I mean, you never look at the official and say, you're right, I did hack him.
Oh, sometimes I did. Sometimes I did. You know, you have to give the officials credit, too, now.
Juwan Johnson knocked down all 3 of those free throws. He's got 10 points. What a nice night from Johnson. 10 points, 4 rebounds, 5 steals.
Well, look at that. 3 Marquette Golden Eagles in on the glass that time. Good job rebounding the basketball.
Johnson hasn't stripped at another foul. He'll go back to the free throw line. Oh, he was shooting, but they're going to say, nope, out of bounds.
Well, Juwan Johnson, I guess they thought he was going to pass, but I don't know. Juwan's been pretty aggressive looking for a shot tonight.
Ellenson backing down the defender, but can't hit the 12-footer. Halfway home, 10 minutes to play in the ballgame. Out of bounds to Marquette.
No, big fella right there. Montana Bird is upset, but there's only one pass. You try to drive against the defense, they're going to be standing there waiting for you. Got to move the defense before you can make that drive.
It's a key segment in the game here with just under 10 minutes to go and another foul on Chicago State. Kieran Wood's going to pick that one up. But it's a 20-point game, just under 10 minutes. If you're going to make a run, you got to do it now if you're Chicago State. You can't do it by putting Marquette to the free throw line with regularity.
Well, and see, Marquette understands that, and they do a great job of penetrating the zone, continue to force the defense to either foul or allow them to get to the rim.
Cheetah misses the front end of the 1-and-1.
Well, Kieran Woods had quite a run there in the first half. Scored 10 straight for Chicago State, but he's been relatively quiet ever since.
In the paint. And in for Jordan Madrid Andrews.
It's a good move there. No hesitation whatsoever. Right at Ellenson. Got the bucket to drop.
It's the one thing Chicago State has really missed tonight is that inside offensive threat. Wilson shoots the three and nets it.
Well, he has really improved his three-point shooting the last few games.
Answers from Chicago State. Clemmy Owens.
Clemmy Owens has got a unique-looking shot, how he winds it up, but boy, he still reaches to the cookie jar on the finish with that nice follow-through and end result.
Ellenson answers. And a couple of heavyweights just landing blow after blow on both sides for these two teams.
And that's still probably the most inconsistent part of Henry's game, but it's starting to improve. And boy, if he can stick that jumper on a consistent basis, Marquette's going to be tough to defend. I mean, he's getting more and more confident with that face-up jumper. Reverse pivots, size up the defense, jab step to create a little space. And at 6'11", when you jab step and the defense reacts, there's nothing they can do about it.
Three off the mark from Adekoya. Yeah, that looked like a next level move
from
Ellenson.
Yeah. The reverse pivot to face up the defense. He's got all the footwork. He can handle the basketball. He can push it on the break. And he's a double-double waiting to happen, like tonight.
He has added to his double-double list tonight. Yes, indeed. It's his 6th of the season. The extra pass, and Owens misses. Pulled down by Cohen. Blocking foul called, and we'll have a timeout. Chicago State trying to hang in there, but Marquette flexing its muscle, up 20.
To be drilled in passing the basketball. They've got 18 assists on the night. He saw something in the last couple of possessions he didn't like. He's trying to get his young team to stay in the mode that brought them to the 7-game win streak.
Sandy Cohen, the third, hits the first of two. The sophomore from Seymour, Wisconsin, has 10. Make it 11.
And I'm going to tell you something. I called the Marquette-Iowa game, and Iowa came in here and lit them up. And ever since then, this has been a different team, and they've been locked in. They're together. They trust each other. And what Steve Wojciechowski's done with this young club this early in the season has been very impressive.
Have not lost since that rout at the hands of Iowa. They rattled them all off in the win column.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. I talked to Chris Collins, the head coach at Northwestern, who was on the bench at Duke with Steve Wojciechowski for years. And he laughed when we recalled the trip that Marquette made to New York. He took Steve Wojciechowski took the practice jerseys away, kicked them out of the locker room, made them practice outside in New York, and got them back to basics. And ever since then, they've been on a roll and they've been on the same page.
They've earned back their indoor practice opportunities, and they're back in the locker room, but they don't have the practice jerseys back yet. They're still practicing in the plain white T-shirts.
I like that. And you know what? He may stick with that as well as they're playing. But a lot of times you have to remind young players, you know, you got the charter flights, you got extra gear from Jumpman, but you still got to come out here and work.
Win every day. That's Wojo's motto. It's not just game day, it's every day. That's the mentality he wants his team to adopt and accept.
That's right. And of course, these guys were a lot of them weren't even born when he was playing. But he was a junkyard dog. He was a bulldog. And he wants his teams to play that way. Tough, together, and get the job done.
Out of bounds. They'll keep it the same way. Haven't seen him slap the floor as a coach yet.
Oh, it's coming. Not tonight. But if Big East play, we're going to see it.
2 on the shot clock, and that's why they had to get it away so quickly and didn't draw iron, so a turnover. Well, Wojo got after him in the shoot-around this morning. They were loose and maybe a little too loose for the coach's liking, and he pulled them together, and he got them on the right mind path right away.
Well, he understands what he's dealing with. He's got a very talented team, but they're still pretty young. And so they have to be drilled over and over again about what to expect.
Long pass for Clemmy Owens. Can't get it lit on the basket on both ends. How about that? Again, Andrews Madrid. Or Madrid Andrews with the reverse. Still a 20-point game, but they are slugging it out. A big night tonight, but so many other guys for Wojo are capable of putting points on the board. Much different than a year ago.
No doubt about it. Sandy Cohen's a year older. They've got a very talented freshman class, and Cheatham can score the basketball. Enough said about Henry Ellenson, and Jawan Johnson's a year older, so they've got some capable guys that can score the basketball. They're not a two-headed monster like last season.
Yeah, 6 players in double figures for Marquette tonight. Case in point as Fisher gets in there for the basket.
Set play to get Luke Fisher coming from the weak side to the strong side. Good execution by Marquette.
Shot up and in. Response by Fred Sims. Well, he's had a good ball game tonight. 20 points for Sims.
He just gets it easy. I mean, there's no rush in his game, no wasted motion. Does a good job.
Traveling turnover, Marquette. Yeah, Sims, you're talking about, he had 22 against DePaul, put 20 on the board again tonight. I mean, we talk about Marquette scores. Chicago State's got guys that can fill it up, too.
Oh, man, he and I've seen Elliot Cole go off in games. Clemmy Owens is now eligible. They're going to be difficult to defend in the Western Athletic Conference.
There's Owens, the fadeaway, missed it. Johnson rebounds. Under 4.5 to play here at the Bevo Harris Bradley Center in Milwaukee. Marquette trying to win its 8th in a row, and Luke Fisher getting them a little closer.
I like that. Luke did a crab dribble, looked to see if the defense was coming. They weren't coming, so he went strong with his offhand.
Started his college career at Indiana University, and then came back home to Wisconsin and the state to play for Marquette.
Yeah, it was a little unusual because he transferred at the kind of the end of the semester. And he was getting a little bit of playing time at Indiana, but boy, he's been a great fit here at Marquette. And I know he's happy as well as the Marquette faithful.
Cheatham has it slapped away, and just talking about Luke Fisher, boy, he stepped on somebody's foot, sprained his ankle, and he is down as Fred Sims rattles in a three-pointer. Fisher hobbles off, but Marquette storming to another way where Christmas Day.
Tracy Carter looking like Alibaba and the 40 Thieves right out in the open. Clean pick, goes in for the finish. Freshman guard out of Philadelphia getting it done on the defensive end.
That was part of that 25-5 run to close the first half, and they give Marquette that big cushion that they have enjoyed moving forward. Trying to close it out now with 3.5 to play.
Well, Coach Wojciechowski's going to be animated and want them to do certain things, but they've done a lot of good things this evening. Have this young Marquette ball club. Look at 88 points already. They shared the basketball. They have 20 assists again. They've had 11 steals. So Marquette's done some really positive things here tonight.
20 assists on 28 baskets.
That's going to win a lot of games.
Juwan Johnson, the steal, and the block from Kieran Woods. How about that defensive play?
Man, I thought Juwan Johnson would turn it over. This is how they do it in Memphis. You got to take it to the hole and dunk it, Juwan. But great play by Kieran Woods not to succeed the layup there. Excellent effort on both ends.
Great block without fouling. Matt Helt in the game for Marquette. Wally Ellenson in again as well. There's Johnson for the three. Helt kept it alive, but went over the back to do it. Nope. You're going to call that foul on Devon Friend of Chicago State. His third.
And Matt Hill gets a chance to get to the free throw line.
Hasn't played the last couple of games. He's another one of those outstanding freshmen, that part of that freshman class.
Yeah, and he's going to develop. And what a luxury to have the size that Marquette has. Come off the bench with somebody 6'10", 255.
How about that? Fred Sims now with 26, a career high.
And Sims not hitting the rim anymore. His stroke is so nice right now. He's in nothing but cotton.
Really like what I've seen out of Chicago State tonight. They are going to make for long nights against a lot of opponents this season. Wally Ellenson missed the long three and then Helt got knocked to the floor. Take another foul on Friend. Check that, put that on Kieran Woods, his fourth. And Helt will go back to the free throw line after missing the front end of the 1-and-1 earlier.
Well, again, you know, this was a tough game for Marquette. You had 9 days since your last game, so it's kind of unusual. You know you're going home for Christmas break. You look at Chicago State, a 4-9 team coming into the game. And Chicago State came in and threw the first punch, but Marquette responded beautifully and have really been strong the rest of the way.
Yeah, Wojo talked about that, the disrupted schedule last week. It was finals week, so you couldn't practice when and for as long as you're used to practicing. Of course, the kids have got to take care of their final exams. And now they're going to have a couple of days off for Christmas. They'll come back and they'll play Presbyterian on Sunday and then have to get ready for that Big East opener against Seton Hall. A little back and forth. Approaching the 2-minute mark.
Wally Ellenson talked about his high jumping ability, but he's as athletic as well. Great job of anticipating there.
Sakar Annam, his first shot of the game. Rebound pulled by Kieran Woods. The lob, and there's the finish from Jordan Madrid-Andrews.
Rare time that Marquette didn't get back defensively, but you're going to see that at this point in the game. Pretty much in hand for Marquette.
Juwan Johnson on the take. A dozen for Juwan Johnson. Woods drives it, missed it, battle for the rebound. Ellenson has it. Not slowing down a bit. Sakar Annam lost it out of bounds on the nice pass from Carter.
Sakar Annam was getting a lot more time earlier in the year. Undersized four. He's an energy guy, makes a lot of things happen. So he's going to be counted on this season at some point. The long grind in the Big East season.
It's one of the things Wojo says he wants to see this team do is develop a little bit more depth that they're going to need, as you mentioned, in the Big East.
Well, you have foul trouble, you have injuries, and just the nature of the grind of the conference slate will require you to dig deep on your bench at times.
Stay with us after this game, Creighton and North Texas. And we're about done here. Under 40 seconds. As Marquette about to win its 8th in a row. There's Sakar Annam, missed it, rebounded his own. Sims. It's been a career night. Blocked by the high jumper, Wally Ellison. The school record holder in the high jump. And what a way to finish it with a defensive play. There were a lot of points put on the board tonight, but there was a lot of good defense as well as Marquette wins its 8th straight, 91-74 over Chicago State. Big night for Wally Ellison again as Marquette moves to 9-2. Now let's go back to the studio in Los Angeles.